Hotboi's luck has officially run out. A judge just delivered a sentence that could keep him off the streets permanently. From minor offenses to major charges, his criminal record is long and serious.
I used to just still take stuff. Stuff like that. I used to just take stuff. I used to snack apples.
But this time, he's dragged his baby mama and their young child into the chaos. Let's break it all down, the baby mama drama that brought everything crashing down.
Florida rapper Hotboii found himself in a familiar situation in the back of a police cruiser after officers say that he brought a gun and scaled a fence to get into a school parking lot.
Picture this, it's 3:40 a.m. on July 9th, 2025, and Hotboii gets arrested in Doral, Florida for firearm possession and trespassing on school property. At first glance, it might seem like just another rapper caught slipping. But when you dig into what really went down, the story takes a dark, unexpected turn, one straight out of a crime thriller. According to his legal team, the whole incident began when his baby mama, Asia Monroe, allegedly shared his location on social media while he was spending time with their son. In the streets, that's a serious betrayal. Dropping a man's location, especially one with enemesis, basically setting him up. And that's exactly what Asia is being accused of doing. What happened next? According to his lawyer, two masked men tried to break into Hotboi's home that same night. With his child present, he did what any father would, grabbed his gun and his son and got out fast. But in trying to protect his family, he landed in an even worse situation. While fleeing, Hotboii ended up on school grounds, arguably one of the worst places for a convicted felon to be caught with a weapon. Surveillance footage captured him scaling a fence and tossing a black Carhartt bag over another. Inside that bag? A loaded Glock 45 9mm. The visuals alone painted a damning picture, and just like that, a chaotic night turned into a legal nightmare.
According to police, Hotboii scaled a fence on the south end of the school and was later spotted on surveillance footage tossing a black Carhartt bag over a fence connected to a fancy community adjacent to the campus.
When you're on probation like Hotboii was, getting caught with a firearm is already a serious violation. But getting caught with a gun on school property? That takes things to an entirely different level, one that could land you behind bars for a very long time. Hotboii was released the next day after posting a $2,500 bond. And while that might look like he caught a break, those who know how the system works understand what that really means. Sometimes, a low bond just means they're giving you enough rope to hang yourself. The real punishment comes later in court, where judges don't play around, especially with repeat offenders bringing weapons near schools. But here's what really hits hard about this situation. If his lawyer's version of events is true, then Hotboii was basically set up by the one person who should have had his back the most, his baby mama, the mother of his child. The woman who should have been ride or die allegedly put both him and their son in danger by sharing their location publicly. In the streets, that's not just messy, that's betrayal on a whole different level. There's an old saying, keep your circle small and your mouth even smaller. But when people in your inner circle start moving like your enemies, you've got real problems. The streets have been buzzing about this case, and reactions are split. Some are saying Hotboii was just trying to protect his child and got caught up in a bad situation. Others argue he should have known better, especially being on probation, not to move around with a gun. But no matter where you stand, most people agree on one thing: having your baby mama leak your location is a violation of street code that's hard to come back from. What makes this even more tragic is the bigger pattern it reveals. This marks Hotboi's fifth arrest in just 7 years, a track record the courts are definitely going to take note of. When you keep ending up in the same type of trouble, judges stop giving you the benefit of the doubt. And since he was already on probation from a previous case, these new charges could mean double time, not just for the current offense, but also for violating his probation. To make matters worse, children were involved. His lawyer emphasized that Hotboii acted out of instinct, trying to protect his son. And while any parent can relate to that, the law doesn't deal in good intentions. Especially not when you're a convicted felon with a gun on school grounds. The judge is going to look at the facts, not the fear or emotion behind his actions, and the timing couldn't have been worse. Hotboii had only just been released in September 2024 after serving over 2 years on RICO charges. He was working on a comeback, dropping new music and trying to rebuild his life and career. But this July 2025 arrest might have just undone all that progress. So how did he even end up entangled in a RICO case in the first place? That's where things really take a turn. We're talking federal charges, street politics, and a spotlight that revealed just how deep Hotboii was in the game. Let's rewind to the case that changed everything. It all started back in July 2021, when Hotboii was arrested during Operation X-Force, a sweeping 9-month investigation that took down 34 people, including fellow Orlando rapper 9 Lock 9. But this wasn't just a routine gang sweep or drug bust. This was a full-blown RICO case. And when the feds bring out RICO charges, it means they've been watching, collecting surveillance, stacking evidence, and building a case that doesn't just go after individual crimes, but the entire organization behind them. RICO stands for Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, the same law used to take down the mob. It's not about catching you on one bad move, it's about proving you're part of an ongoing criminal enterprise. And those charges carry some of the harshest penalties out there. We're talking decades, 30 years or more. The kind of time that wipes out careers and entire lives. According to prosecutors, Hotboii was allegedly the 438 gang, allegedly led by rapper Hotboii, was based around Orlando's Silver Star Road area and became embroiled in a deadly feud with the rival Army gang, reportedly led by fellow rapper Glock 9. This wasn't just a rap beef that escalated. Authorities linked the conflict to more than 30 shootings and several homicides, including the tragic deaths of innocent bystanders. Among the lives lost were 16-year-old Tavia King, the niece of Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill, and high school football star Dexter Wrench Jr., who had earned a scholarship to the University of Louisville. Both were young people with bright futures, caught in the crossfire of a violent street war they had no part in. The prosecution's case against Hotboii hinged on two key pieces of evidence: his Instagram posts and a gun found in his car. Prosecutors argued that his social media content, including photos with firearms and lyrics referencing 438, amounted to using electronic communication to promote gang activity. They also charged him with illegal firearm possession after a gun was discovered in his vehicle while he was attending a funeral. This case highlighted a growing legal debate. Where is the line between artistic expression and actual criminal conduct? In hip-hop, references to guns, gangs, and street life are often part of storytelling, a reflection of environment and personal experience. Hotboii's attorney, Lyle Main, contended that 438 wasn't a gang, but rather a nickname for his Pine Hills neighborhood and a way to promote his music label. Main compared Hotboii's behavior to artists like the Notorious B.I.G. or Kodak Black, arguing that his client wasn't inciting violence but promoting his brand. The defense also claimed that the gun in Hotboii's car belonged to his security detail, meant for protection amid rising threats from rival gangs, a common scenario in the rap industry. However, things got more serious due to the long-standing feud with Glock 9 and the Army gang. Investigators uncovered a cycle of retaliatory violence stretching back years. One major flashpoint came on April 14, 2020, when Army gang member Demetrius Cox shot and killed Wolf Luther King Luma, a 438 affiliate, at a house party. This incident sparked a wave of revenge attacks, some in public spaces, including a shootout at Orlando's mall at Millennia that endangered innocent bystanders. In response, law enforcement launched Operation X-Force, a 9-month investigation by the FBI and local police that resulted in 34 arrests. Authorities described the 438 group not as a loose collection of friends, but a coordinated criminal enterprise involved in multiple illegal activities. Hotboii was arrested and initially held on a $750,000 bond, reflecting the court's view of him as either a flight risk or a danger to the community. At just 21 years old, he faced the possibility of decades in prison under RICO charges, some of the most serious in the federal system, but the case took a dramatic turn. After spending more than 2 years in jail, Hotboii reached a plea deal. Prosecutors dropped the RICO charges in exchange for a guilty plea to a single count of conspiracy. He was sentenced to time served and 5 years probation, a significant win for his defense team. The outcome underscored how crucial strong legal representation is when navigating complex federal cases. The argument that 438 was just a neighborhood hashtag and not a criminal gang ultimately convinced prosecutors to reduce the charges. When Hotboii was released in September 2024, he wasted no time dropping a track titled September 11th's First Day Out, which quickly racked up 1.2 million views. The song's popularity proved that his fan base had stayed loyal throughout his incarceration. In fact, this kind of support isn't uncommon in hip-hop. Legal issues often add to an artist's street credibility and visibility. But the RICO case wasn't Hotboii's only encounter with the law. Court records show he had been arrested multiple times between 2018 and 2025 on charges including gun possession, marijuana possession, and resisting an officer. This pattern of arrests meant that any new legal trouble would be taken even more seriously by the courts. Just a few months after his release, in February 2025, Hotboii was arrested again in Orlando, this time on murky charges, possibly related to a probation violation. The arrest made it clear that despite beating the RICO case, staying out of legal trouble remained a challenge. What's unfortunate is how these legal issues overshadowed what was clearly a promising music career. Hotboii had signed with major labels like Geffen and Interscope, and had collaborated with big names including Future, Lil Baby, and Polo G. His breakout single Don't Need Time went platinum, proof of both his talent and commercial appeal. But the